Hey guys, Tom for TFW Darwin, just with a little video about female fat loss for the lower limbs. So whether you're a female or a trainer who trains females, this can be some useful information as far as why there is fat storage on the lower limbs and what you could do to get rid of it. So pretty much it's pretty straightforward, but understanding how it happens and why it happens and what you can do to get rid of it is pretty important. So we will go up to the top. So why do you store fat in your lower body? We've all seen it before. Girls that have larger lower body and quite a lean upper body, and it's because it's down to cells, okay, and certain receptor cells being more active in the lower body than in the upper body. Okay, so these receptors are called alpha and beta. So alpha 2 receptors are ones that promote fat storage, and beta receptors are the ones that promote fat burning. Okay, so unfortunately estrogen upregulates alpha 2 receptors. Okay, and alpha receptors slow the fat loss process down, which obviously can be quite frustrating for most, especially if the real big goal is fat loss. Okay, so what do we do about it? Okay, so there are a couple of things that we can do. How do we get rid of this fat? So what you need to do is you need to go on a low carbohydrate eating plan for a little while. And the reason for this is that it decreases the alpha 2 receptor activity in the lower body. So when we say low carbohydrate, we're talking like real low, 50 grams or lower per day. Obviously that is unsustainable. So this would only be for maybe 14 days to 3 weeks, and you have to stay on top of your recovery, and you would have to keep your energy levels up and get enough calories in from the right places. Okay, so having a low carbohydrate or a low insulin, I did a little video about insulin and what happens when we have a high insulin response and how detrimental that is. So this is almost like a kind of a follow-on, but one for the girls out there. So pretty much a low carbohydrate environment and a low insulin environment upregulates beta 2 receptors. So beta 2 receptors, like what we saw earlier, are the ones that promote fat loss. Okay, so that then stimulates the catecholamine activity in your lower body, okay, which is what we want. And these are just some supplements. I'm not huge on supplements, but there are supplements out there that can help with this, and some are you may or may not have heard, but you can get them. Okay, so one being forskolin, 50 milligrams daily. Caffeine, that really does get that going as well. So maybe a double espresso before you train. Tyrosine, 1 gram pre-workout. That's also gives you some energy for your workout. And we want to try and train in a fasted state. So if you train in the morning, beautiful, perfect. It might having caffeine in the morning and then training, it is something that you have to get used to. Some people might find it that you might get sick a bit easier, but you do get used to it. So just maybe start with half a shot of coffee, then a full shot, then double shot. Same with any of the other stimulant supplements. If you're training in the afternoon or training in the evening, then what you could do is just not eat for 3 or 4 hours beforehand, and that is similar to training in a fasted state. And if you were training at lunchtime, then you could do a bit of intermittent fasting, which is always great. The great health benefits to that. and also you will be able to train fasted. So you could get your supplements in before you train, and then smash out a training session, and then start your feeding. Okay, so training for fat loss in the lower limbs. Okay, so HIIT training, pre-workout. Okay, so like maybe like rowing Tabatas or bike Tabatas or skipping Tabatas, burpee Tabatas, something like that. And then HIRT training post-workout, so some kind of high-intensity resistance training afterwards. Kettlebell swings, that'd be a great one for girls, because obviously that is really stimulating the lower body. Goblet squats, you know, reverse lunges, jump squats, something like that. But you want a bit of resistance on there as well to really, you know, get that going. As far as strength training is concerned, you want to be looking at obviously your squats, your deadlifts, your sumo squats, glute bridges, things like that. Off a bench and on a bench for the glute bridges. I do prefer them off a bench. You get a longer range of movement. And as I have stated in one of my previous videos, range of movement is key. So if you want to learn about programming and, you know, just some general tips, then watch one of my previous videos. Not going to go into that. So a diet protocol would be a low carbohydrate diet, like I said, because you need to have low insulin for, you know, to stimulate the alpha receptors. Really high good fats, your omega-3, really important, especially when you're training. You know, fish oils, you know, fats from nuts, you know, all those sort of fats. Like, we're not talking about fats that, you know, your vegetable fats and canola oils and things like that. You want like your coconut oils, your macadamia oils, to be cooking with and ingesting. They're good. And you want to diet high in phytoestrogen, so that is green cruciferous vegetables, and you should be eating that sort of stuff at every meal, especially if you want to get rid of that lower limb fat, girls. Okay, so that's pretty much it. And yeah, so you've got to go on a low carb diet for a little while, not too long, 50 grams or lower. You've got to get some of these supplements into you. Okay, green tea, again, I missed that on there. I'm going to put that on there right now. No, I'm not. Where is it? Green tea extract. Okay, that's really good as well. Get these supplements in you. Okay, do some fasted training. Get in the gym. Start doing some squats, deadlifts, sumo squats, all that sort of stuff. Start training. You know, using weights, hypertrophy and strength training for your lower body. And yeah, good fats, high good fats. Obviously, good protein sources, and eating, you know, things like your cabbage, your broccoli, your cauliflower, things like that. That's cruciferous vegetables that contain these phytoestrogens. Okay, so that's it. That's how to get rid of your fat on your lower limbs. Enjoy.